This is one of the biggest secrets in golf that so many golfers get wrong, and it means they can't hit straight golf shots, they can't hit long golf shots, and certainly can't score the way you want to. Hi everyone, my name is James and welcome to Get Good at Golf. On this channel we aim to help you get good at golf just one day at a time. Who here wants to hit straighter golf shots? Me. Do you want to hit straighter golf shots?
Do I?
How about I give you a couple of secrets, guys, how you can square the club face up better, more consistently, and you'll get a little bit of extra distance on top of that as well. So one of the biggest things that so many people get wrong when it comes to squaring the club face is either closing it too soon, so the ball goes left, or leaving the club face open and the ball will then go right. And often we think, well, to do that, I have to manipulate this club. I have to be able to think, right, if the club's turning here, I make sure my hands are turning at the right pace to get that club face pointing at my target. That is sort of true, but it's not really. If you try timing the golf swing with your hands, first of all, it's going to be very, very flippy, so you're not going to be very consistent when it comes to hitting straight golf shots. You're also not going to create a lot of speed because you are trying to create that speed with your hands, with your smaller muscles of the body. So what if we said, instead of doing this with the hands, we rotate the body, not only better, but faster into a motion where you can square that club face up every single time. You see, if I want to hit a nice straight shot down this first fairway, I need to make sure my body rotates at a speed where that club face is under control at all times. You will note that I've taken a nice divot after the ball because the strike was exactly how I wanted it to be, and that's because as I'm rotating down, the handle gets in front of the club head, which is in front of the ball. Now you may think, James, we've discussed this already on the channel. Yes, I know that's going to help my ball striking. It might help the ball come out a little bit lower. It also might get me a bit more distance because that dynamic loft is lower. All those boxes are now ticked because you're rotating your body. But what about the club face angle? What about it pointing towards the target? You see, whilever the handle is in front of the club head, that head is pretty much under control. The loft is under control, the face angle is under control, and the shaft angle is also under control, which is going to amount to a controlled golf shot. Whereas if the handle releases early, you'll see that club head starts rotating over, the toe overtakes the heel, then you can hit it high left. Alternatively, if you slide your body instead of rotating, that means you're going to get ahead of the ball. That means that the handle is going to be delivered still forward, but the club face will be open. That is the key to the rotation. I want to feel as though from the top of the backswing, my left hip turns, so then that's going over my left heel, over my left knee, and from there I can turn my chest and body onto the ball. You'll see that club face is square to my target every single time and really helps me hit longer, straighter, more accurate golf shots. So two pretty good golf shots there, and if you want to hit golf shots like that, guys, there's another point that's really, really important. So we all know the stance is an important factor as to how you can hit golf shots. Stance width here is vital. So say if I stand too narrow to this, that means that I can hang back, I can over rotate the club, I can under rotate the club. I need to make sure that as I rotate my body, I've got a nice solid stance so the club is always behind the hands. You'll see wherever my balance goes, that's generally where that club might be going as well. So balance is key here to make sure you get the strike and the face angle. And also if I go too wide, that's going to restrict my rotation, so that's going to restrict how I can deliver the club on the way back. So making sure I have that correct stance width is vital to making sure I can not only hit straight, long golf shots, also hitting the ball in play. Guys, Chris has now got another tip for you to help you hit longer, straighter golf shots. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying these videos. Also, we have memberships coming up as well, so if you want to get good at golf one day at a time a little bit faster, make sure you check those out.
So guys, continuing on James's point there, obviously stance width and everything that James has just gone through is going to help you rotate, but you might be able to rotate better, but if your ball position is incorrect, that's going to massively affect where that ball is going to start. It's going to affect how you can square the club face up, and that's obviously key to where the initial start line is, but also to the shape of shots you are going to hit. So when we set up to a golf ball, if we have that too far back in the stance, again, you could rotate well, we could get that body turn, but the club's still on the downward arc, it's still going out, working out to the right, and that club, no matter how my body is rotated, the ball is going to start way out to the right. It's going to be an open club face. We'll either square that up and it'll go straight right, we could leave it open a little bit more and we'll hit a slice, or We then have to do the typical, people start to manipulate the hands, we'll start to drop kick the ball, start to hit the ground early, the club will close and we'll probably hit it straight here into the water. So a massive thing there, guys, is if it's back, you'll see there that this ball will start right. And although it has got over and it's okay, if that was into the trees and the hole didn't work to the right, that's a lost ball. It's in the trees, you've turned well, you've struck it well, you've done everything that you think, but the ball's finished out to the right. And that's a big thing. You need to be able to take feedback from that, guys. If you're starting to hit shots out to the right, we want to break that down to why. You're going to think, right, I've hit that well, it's gone perfect, but it's gone right. Or all I'll do now is I'll shuffle around and I'll aim to the left. We then let the hands go, and then we hit 140 yards left, and we're never finding the centre of the fairway. So the opposite, if my ball position gets forwards, we're going to start to see that again. I could close that club face down, it's past the low point. On these kind of shots we might catch it thin, so we're working the club on the way up. So we could catch it thin, we could bottom out before we don't get a strike. It's very low on the face. If I don't get the strike that I want, a lot of people manipulate, and what they'll try and do is slide and try and get ahead of the ball like James spoke about. And if we do that, we're opening again both sides of the golf course and we're not opening up the middle. What some people will do is hold it off. If I hold this off now, you'll see that's okay, it's found the fairway, but I've lost a lot of distance with this 8-iron. I'm not going to get the distance, and like James said, what we're trying to do here is not only get a better strike, not only square the face up, but get more distance. Everybody wants more distance, and this is the way that we're going to get it. If we get that square, if we start to rotate better, and then we have the correct ball position, like James demonstrated, we're going to be able to come into an impact here, where you'll see that the club head is behind the hands, so we've got a little bit of forward shaft lean there, my body's rotated, and if anything there, we are pressuring that golf ball. So that's a big thing that people talk about, is that we would want to pressure that golf ball. You wouldn't want to get back returning like that. Again, if it was going to throw a ball, I'd be releasing it, I'd be pressuring the ball to go there, I wouldn't be just letting my wrist go.
That's the most athletic movement I've ever seen you do.
I wouldn't just let my wrist go, because the ball's going to go here, it's not going to get anywhere. So getting the correct ball position, guys, it comes from a routine, so we want you to have a good routine. So set the club, no matter what club it is, into the correct ball position, feet start in the middle, and then from there I can build the correct ball position by taking my stance. I know that now is just ahead of centre. In the downswing we're going to transfer our weight and get ahead of the ball. That's going to get the downward strike and a square club face. So I've built my stance into the shot, a much more solid shot, and let's see, and gone at least 20 yards further. So a square face, a good strike there. So think, guys, get into that routine of setting your club, building your stance, and from there we shouldn't start to see that your ball position gets too far back or too far forward.
Okay, some fantastic tips there from Chris on ball position, how to hit straighter shots. That's obviously very important with irons. Irons can be our attacking clubs, want to hit it close to the flag, want to get close, want to make birdie. There can also be defensive clubs off the tee. If you're hitting a 4-iron, the last thing you want to do is hit it out of bounds, is hit it in a hazard or a now known penalty area. But driver is the attacking club, where we want to get as much distance as possible while keeping this ball in play. So how do I square the driver face up when I'm swinging at circa 100, 105, maybe in Chris's point 110 miles an hour? Any more?
I'd say 115.
Chris would say 115, but Chris doesn't know what he's talking about. Right, but if I have the correct ball position here, how can I possibly hit the ball offline? Obviously swing path is going to have a huge part to play here. If I start to come across the ball with a square face, that ball's still going to cut, it's still going to go right depending how much you have cut across it. If I'm going to come too far from the inside with a square face, again, depending if that's square to the path or to the target, you're either going to hit a hook or you're going to hit a block. If I have a club face where I rotate the body nice and quickly, now by rotating the body I don't just mean upper body, I mean the entire body. So we're going to start that with the lower body, we're going to start with the hips, then the torso, then the arms, then the shaft, then the head. You'll see that that has now squared the club face up, because we want to think about our sequence from the ground. We find ourselves talking about this quite often in videos, especially videos about drive, where we want to hit it as far as physically possible, whilst keeping the ball in play. If my sequence does go off a little bit and I start the downswing and I start the downswing with my arms, you'll see that puts the club on the outside. That's also not going to help our club face angle because we're not going to rotate the body as well as we can. So the quality of this sequence also determines your club face angle, which is a huge thing that a lot of golfers maybe don't understand. So if I sequence this properly, not only am I going to have a square club face, I'm also going to have much more speed and rotation. Just like that.
So guys, that has been Get Good at Golf. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you again tomorrow.